Hey guys, it's Kayla. Welcome back to my channel. Here we talk about all things Disney as well as how to plan your Walt Disney World vacation. So if that interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. Welcome back to part 3 in our in-depth mini-series of how to budget for your Walt Disney World vacation. Last time we talked about your resorts and lodging. If you missed that one, I will put the link above. Make sure you go check that one out. Today we are going to be talking about admission. So that is anything from your park tickets to any like extra hard ticket events, to the water parks, to tours, any other fun like excursions. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is park admission. This is going to be honestly the most important thing in this category, as these are your park tickets. Now, there are all kinds of park tickets and all kinds of pricing, and this is it's a little complicated, but it's also really easy at the same time. First off, let's talk about like what all the different park ticket types are. So you have your single day base ticket, which means you can get into one park per day. You cannot park hop or anything, you get one park per day. Then you have your park hopper ticket, which means you can get into any of the 4 theme parks in one day. So if you wanted to go to Animal Kingdom in the morning and Magic Kingdom in the afternoon, you could. So that is a park hopper ticket. Your park hopper plus ticket is the same thing as the park hopper, but it also includes the water park and I believe the sports center as well. And then the last one, of course, is annual passes, which that's a whole nother thing, and we're not totally going to talk about that today, but if you have more questions about annual passes, I did do a video on those, so I will also link that one above, so make sure you go check that one out. Okay, so now that you have your different types of tickets, you have to decide, okay, how many days am I actually going to be in the parks while on our vacation? Are we going to be doing any resort days? Are we going to be going to the parks on our travel days, or are we just going to go use that as like a Disney Springs day or a resort day, things like that? So you have to kind of, or even to like if you're planning on going to other theme parks that are not Disney, like Universal, you have to kind of think about, okay, what are we actually planning on doing while on our trip, so you can figure out how many days you will be in the parks. Same thing, like, are we going to the water parks? Is that important to your family? All of those little factors, kind of have to think about that a little bit before you get too into it, because it can get a little confusing on this next step. So Disney is kind of weird in the way that they price their tickets. It's the idea of it, it's Disney and they want your money, so they want you to go for as many days as possible. So to do this, they actually have their ticket system where the more days you are there, the less per day you will be spending. So as an example, these are not the actual numbers, so don't like quote me on this. This is just giving you kind of an example. Say your 1-day ticket is $100. Your 2nd-day ticket might be, so if you have like a 2-day ticket, instead it might be $70 for each of those 2-day tickets instead of $100 for both of them. So, and it kind of progresses from there. So it's kind of one of those things that you kind of have to look and see, okay, is it worth it to add that extra day? Because it may not be as expensive as you think. Just to add that extra day if you're debating on whether or not. I mean, I know for us, we were looking at tickets for our friends for an upcoming trip, and it was only gonna be like $20 more a person to add an extra day ticket, and we're like, okay, sure, we might as well just add the day on. So this can save you money. It can also get you in trouble though, because if you are still trying to plan how many days you want to go, sometimes people will use this to justify like, oh, well, it's only $20 more to go an extra day. Why don't we just like stay an extra day at Disney? Yeah, you may be saving money on your park ticket, but you also then have to pay another day for a hotel and food and all of that stuff. So be careful with this, but do know that that is the way that they are priced. On top of that, just to make it even more confusing, it depends on the time of year that you're going. So tickets that are going to be around like Christmas time or major holidays are going to be way more expensive than tickets that are going to be, say, middle of September, when it's not as quote unquote busy, because it's Disney. It's always busy there. That is also something to consider, as your ticket prices are going to be, like, maybe if you haven't decided exactly when you're wanting to go, that may be a factor for you. And it's kind of a general rule of thumb that the busier time of year that it is, so again, during those major holidays or those like busy like 3-day weekends, things like that, prices are going to be a little bit more expensive overall with park tickets and your hotels, and oftentimes like flights are going to be more expensive. So overall, those trips are going to be a little bit more pricier than something that's going to be during a more off-season time. Okay, so now we have all this information. You're like, Kayla, how the heck am I even supposed to figure out how much tickets are supposed to cost if there's all these different tickets and there's all these different price fluctuations and all that stuff? Well, it's actually very easy. This is where it does get easy. You just go to the Disney website, plug in the dates that you're planning on going for your vacation, and then plug in how many days of tickets that you are needing. Super easy. It'll tell you exactly how much it'll be. You just click what type of ticket you want and how many days, and it'll just do the math for you, and there's your number. That's the one that you need a budget for. So a lot of the other stuff is just things that you need to consider when you're deciding how many days or what kind of tickets and things like that you're wanting to do. But to actually find out the number, it's very easy. Just go to the website. A few suggestions that I have when trying to decide what tickets are going to be best for your family, and these are just my personal opinion. Every family is going to be different, but this is just kind of to give you an idea that might help you a little bit. So if you've never been to Disney World before, and like you guys are going for maybe just like a week and you're only going to be getting like 4 or 5 days worth of tickets, I would just get the base single day ticket. Don't get the park hopper, because you're gonna get really overwhelmed. There's so much to see and do at Disney. You can easily spend an entire day at one park and be absolutely fine. You do not need to do park hopper. There will be so many new things that you, even still with just the one day, you'll be like, oh my gosh, there's so much we didn't do. And that's okay. So if it's your first trip, base ticket is probably going to be the best way to go. If it is your first time and you maybe only have 2 days, but you do want to try and see all 4 parks, that might be a good time to get a park hopper. That way you can have the flexibility to go to multiple parks in a day, just hit like the main things, and then you'll be good to go. The other person I recommend park hopper for is people like Mark Allen and I, where we love to park hop. We like to have some flexibility. We've been before, and so we've done most everything. We just want to kind of do what we want to do. It's really great to have that flexibility that, you know what, we go in the morning, do extra magic hours. Okay, this park's starting to get a little busy. Let's head on over to the other park. So those are great for park hopper. Park hopper plus, obviously, if you are somebody that is big on using the water parks. We don't really go to water parks that much, so that's not totally our thing, so we don't really need that. But if water parks are important to your family, definitely think about getting that park hopper plus. And then annual passes, of course. If you're planning on going to Disney a lot, you have to do your own math with this. Obviously, you can get into any of the parks, any day, anytime, all that fun jazz. Okay, so that is item number 1 in that category. The next thing is kind of, this is going to be an optional thing for you. You may use this, you may not. And that is if you are going to other theme parks such as Universal, Busch Gardens, any of those, you need to make sure that you budget for your park tickets for that day. Now, we like to keep these separate just because it helps to keep us organized and know, like, okay, this is how much we're spending on Disney tickets and this is how much we're spending on other park tickets. It just makes it a little easier in our brains. You do not have to make it separate. You can put it all together. We just like it because it eases confusion. All right, and number 3, this one's fun, and that is golf and other recreational things that you can do at Disney. You guys, there's so much more to do than just the parks at Disney. This is where it almost gets a little overwhelming because there's so many things you can do. You can golf. They have mini golf. You can rent a boat. You can rent a kayak. You can rent bikes. You can go on a carriage ride. You can go to the spas. There's literally so many things. There are a lot of these options, but don't feel like you have to do these on your vacation. Honestly, Mark Allen and I haven't really utilized a lot of those extra things just because there's so much to do at Disney. We haven't quite gotten there yet, and that's okay. But if it's something that's important to you and your family, like maybe spending time out on the lake is a really important thing that your family does, then cool, think about renting a pontoon boat for the day. Or if you guys are on your honeymoon and you're wanting to book a massage, then cool, do it. Why not? It's fun. We did one and that was great. Those different things, you just kind of have to decide with your family what is going to be best for you guys. What can you afford? Don't do things you can't afford, guys, because that's when you get in trouble. Don't forget to budget for this. All right, and the last one, it kind of goes along with this, and it's another really big category, and that is tours and seminars and parties and hard ticket events and dessert parties and all of that fun stuff. So again, there's a million things that you can do at Disney World, and Disney likes to get your money, so they have all these different things that they charge you money for that are very fun and totally worth it, but you know, it does get expensive. First off, there's tours. So these range anywhere from very cheap and inexpensive, like the Living with the Land Behind the Seeds tour, which I think is like $25 or something like that. And then you have your more expensive tours, like the Wild Africa Trek in Animal Kingdom that I really want to do, but I think last time I looked it was like $270 or $300 or something like that. It was very expensive. And of course they even have ones that are more expensive than that. So there's all kinds of tours, and there's a list on the Disney website of all the different tours and what they are, and you can find out pricing and all of that stuff on there. But these are really fun to add to your trip. If again, I would recommend this if you're somebody that has gone to Disney multiple times, or another good time to use this is maybe on a really busy holiday, that where you know the park's gonna be insane. Sometimes those VIP tours might be worth the extra money so you can skip a lot of lines and kind of see some behind the scenes stuff. And then during the festivals at Epcot, a lot of times they will have seminars for food and wine. They have like a lot of guest chefs come in and do little cooking seminars. And during Flower Garden, I think they had like some gardening seminars that you could do, and I think during like Festival of the Arts they had like painting workshops and all kinds of things. A lot of that stuff again is on the Disney website. We haven't done any of that stuff. Maybe someday in the future we will, but if that's kind of your thing, those are really fun to check out. Now the one thing that I do recommend doing at least once is a dessert party. We did the Star Wars dessert party and it was so much fun. We loved it. And of course you get to eat a bunch of desserts, and then you get to watch the fireworks from usually a pretty good spot. And I know like there's some of them, there's like the Frozen Ever After dessert party where you actually get to go ride Frozen Ever After the fireworks or before the fireworks, something like that. And then there's another fireworks dessert party that's actually on like a little ferry boat on the lake, and you get to watch the Magic Kingdom fireworks. So there's all kinds of those. I think they have them for all 4 parks, so those are definitely fun to check out. Some of them, they do kind of vary in price. Some are a little less expensive, some of them are a little more expensive. You can always kind of read reviews and things and see which one would be best for your family, but I do recommend doing one of those at least one time, because they're very fun. Okay, and the last thing is gonna be your hard ticket events. So this is gonna be the Halloween party, the Christmas party, early morning magic, after hours, any of those kinds of hard ticket events that you have to buy in addition to your park ticket. So that's kind of one thing that you have to remember, is that these parties and things are not included in your park ticket. So you do actually have to buy a park ticket for that day and then get your party or after hours or whatever ticket in addition to that. So that does get expensive. However, a lot of those are totally worth it because they have a lot of times just special events or characters or shows or treats or things that you can only do at these hard ticket events. So we did after hours at Hollywood Studios. I will leave that link for that review up above. Then we are actually going to go do the Halloween party this October. So it's one of those things, you don't want to go crazy with these, but they are definitely something that I would recommend maybe trying to add in at least 1 or 2 of them into your vacation if you can afford it. Okay, so all of these activities and tickets and everything that I've talked about is on the Disney website. Just gotta go search for it. They have lists of them, what everything is, how much they are, all of that jazz. So if you're interested in any of those things, go check those out. I know that that was a ton of information. So now you're probably like, Kayla, holy cow, why are you overwhelming me with all this stuff? Well, it's okay. Now we're gonna break it down and make it easy. First, figure out how many days are you going to Disney and how many days you're going to be going to the parks. Decide, are you just doing the parks? Are you doing the parks and water parks? Are you doing parks and resort days? Decide all of that. Then, once you've decided that, seeing how much that is gonna cost, talk about any other fun extras that you and your family are wanting to do, whether that be, like I said, renting a boat, doing a tour, going to the spa, getting one of those hard ticket events. Maybe think about adding 1 or 2 of those to your vacation. Don't go overboard. I know it's super tempting because there's a lot of fun things to do. I mean, if you can afford it, you do you. Do at least try to maybe think about adding 1 or 2 of those special things to your vacation just to give you a little extra magic and make everything a little bit more memorable. That's it. That's all you have to do. It sounds like a lot. It's just because you got to do the little bit of research to decide what you actually want to do on your trip. Did I forget anything? Is there something else that you guys think needs to go in this category? If so, please leave those down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, we talk a lot about Disney and budgeting for Disney and just other fun Disney content. We do have our trips coming up in October, so we'll have some vlogs, things like that. But if you enjoy any of that and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And that's it. We will see you guys next time. Bye.